Reattach them, man.
Paste on the beard real quick. But nah, yeah. We're back here. Chair Podcast Studios. This is the Nas Cast with Camp Nas. And of course, as always, joining us this week, we got
Murdoch.
And
Drago.
And
Gregory Hall.
And behind the boards
is Christian.
And your guy, your host with the most, Leroy Green. How's everyone doing?
I'm great.
Pretty good.
It's good to hear.
I'm okay.
It's good to hear. Good to hear.
It's been so long, guys.
It's a vibe.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I think it's been a minute.
It's been a whole
2
long
weeks
week.
is a long time.
Yo, it has been. Yeah,
bro, 2 weeks is too long, man. It's a lot, bro. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. You know that, right?
Yeah, like a lot of episodes of WandaVision.
A lot of episodes of WandaVision. Because I don't think we really went in depth with the show that much on here. Because, like, when we came back in January, that's when the first episode I think, was out at the time too. So now we're kind of like towards the end of the season here,
and if you haven't been watching, subscribe to reviews on the Camp Nas YouTube channel. Hosted by Dragoff. Myself.
Also, just a heads up, this is a mini series. It's not coming back again. Like once this is over, it's over.
Yeah,
this is it.
It's connected to Doctor Strange. Make sure you're connected.
They're connected.
Sorry.
I think you're saying the commercial.
Nah, man, stereo MCs.
I honestly kind of hope that a lot of the Marvel Disney Plus shows are like one season. Like
that's what I think all of them.
I think
most Hawkeye is a mini series.
Well, I think like Miss Marvel and She-Hulk and stuff like that might end up being entire shows because they're
I
based
could
around.
see that.
Those
But I remember hearing rumors that they were already gearing up for like a season 2 of Loki, which like confused me.
Really?
They're obviously specifically just rumors, but there were rumors going on that they might extend the show, which I'm just like, I was fine with Loki dying. And
they got a lot of stories.
Oh no, they had to bring that Loki back.
We got alternate dimension Loki.
I know he has a big female fan base. That's probably the reason why they brought him back alone.
I want to get that tween audience.
But WandaVision.
Wanda, baby.
Yeah.
3 episodes left at the time that we're recording this.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
So
good.
Speculations, theories.
by the time this video comes out, some of these theories might be laid to rest.
Probably.
But
we'll speculate some stupid shit like we were way fucking off. We weren't even close. I mean, because even since the beginning, a lot of some theories that I had I was like, okay, no, that's obviously not what's going on. But there's some that most people still speculated, I think is still going on. Like we're 3 episodes left, but we haven't. Everyone's suspecting there's a big bad behind all this. Mephisto's been like the number one.
Mephisto, Nightmare's names been thrown around too.
Yeah, like I mainly I still think Mephisto could definitely have a part in this. You know, I think one of the first theories that kicked it off was in one of the commercials. I think it was the
Stark one? Is it the
Stark, Hydra?
It was something. I think it had
Hydra
a toaster.
No, it was Hydra.
Hydra.
It was they had the clocks, right, or something, or the watches.
It wasn't that one. But for the Mephisto theory, it came. Well, I know I started reading.
I think the Stark one was the toaster.
Yeah,
it was the toaster one, and they saying like you see this. There's a 666 upside down on like the toaster or some shit like that.
I know.
Like if you find the picture, you probably look at it.
Definitely, you're jumping off on the Loki trailer. Like there's a glass mural, and it's Mephisto, basically Mephisto in the back, and then they're like, and then they started pouring it into everying. So,
but it's that like that one poster where like you see like the little face like in the middle of it and stuff like that.
Some I was reading like some like mad far fetched. I'm like, there's a lot of Mephisto stuff in there, sure, but like one person was like, oh, because I mean, okay, maybe not so far off now. I'm thinking of the way the last episode ended. Say what was saying like the way Quicksilver's hair was because it was horn.
Okay, that is a little too.
That's
now you're reaching. Now you're reaching.
I was gonna say that. I was
that's reaching now.
That's a reach. But I was like,
if you look at the book on Wanda's bookshelf and combine it with the time on the clock,
If you see
divide it by her,
if you
it's
see
666.
if you see episode 3, if you look down on Wanda's feet on her pinky toe, she got a 666 on her pinky toe.
like some stuff is a little far.
And then Eddie Murphy shot it off.
Some is pulled from the comics. The theory is not even based on anything on the show. They're like, oh, since the Hellspawn, they were originally the Hellspawns of Mephisto. They're like, that's got to be the reason.
Like I remember, like in episode 1, the beekeeper. Like I think we talked about it before.
Yeah.
Like there was speculation they might be
AIM
agents because of the uniform. And boy, were we all
Yeah.
not even close. No,
Boy,
that
did we
was-
Yeah, that was so
I remember
funny.
when we did that
Yeah.
episode, subscribe reviews like, yeah, AIM, and then we were like, oh, okay, we were
Not
wrong
even
about
close.
that.
Not even close. Not even close. Literally had nothing to do with AIM. No, it's just,
AIM's still in the mix, though.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Maybe not WandaVision.
Yeah.
Though.
Not WandaVision. you
They
know.
were in Iron Man 3, just like not done very well. But
No, no.
What's confusing me though throughout the entirety of this show still is the kids though. Is Wanda's children is the fact that they are, for all intents and purposes, real.
Yeah.
Like they confirmed that I think in the last episode. Like they are real kids.
Like when they
so
were babies, I was thinking like this is something that's gonna be temporary. This will go away once this
this bubble is over. But then I'm like, will it?
Looks
But
like
that's
they-
what
they
happened
are
in the comics.
established.
At first, the kids were like built like out of like her magic and through Mephisto, and then she lost the kids, and that led her to an even bigger like psychotic breakdown. And then the kids got reincarnated. And comics are weird, but
Say less.
yeah. So there is still like, is she gonna lose the kids? Because that'll like, but they're really like building up the Young Avengers stuff. So I feel like they're gonna find a way to just like keep them. Maybe she'll lose them for an episode and then they'll come back.
I think, and this leads into why I think this as well. I think WandaVision is also on track to set up Fantastic Four.
That's the big theory.
That's
going
the
on
big.
right now.
Yeah.
That's the one that I think is really gonna like. Like, there's been way too many clues in its favor, and I don't think it's accidental. First off, it's the person who
the phone.
on the phone that she was trying to call. Like, I know who's perfect for this.
The
And
Astro Engineer.
The Astro Engineer, the readings that they were talking about was like, shit, I'm like blanking on it. But it was the same type of energy that created the Fantastic Four. So like, I think that there's some leeway there. I would be surprised, but I think we might get a Reed Richards introduction.
Reed Richards shows up in WandaVision, I'm gonna shit myself.
Yeah. Because that would be a great like, because I think everybody's expecting to see Doctor Strange because this is leading also into the multiverse of madness.
I still think he's gonna show.
So
up.
he's gonna show, but I think
Doctor Strange,
the big reveal could be Reed Richards.
I do too, and it's also the fact that didn't Wanda's kids at a certain point end up like fighting with, well, not fighting in like the sense of like versus bad and good and shit like that, like teaming up with Fantastic Four's kids in the comics or something. I think there's a
Probably.
point.
I
think-
wasn't big on Young Avengers stuff.
I just
to be
remember,
honest,
I remember
but
them
Franklin.
being in Young Avengers. They were in a version of the Guardians of the Galaxy also. That's mainly where I remember. So they teamed up. You know,
That's more setup. You got to set up Franklin
yeah.
Richards and all that.
one
Well,
of
like
these
my- Reed's kid, not
my
all
main
of
theory.
them.
Like I didn't
Yeah.
read too much into the Fantastic Four one. Like this is really my first time hearing it. But like I remember my speculation was talking about earlier with Dragoff. Like I was saying like, because of the way Monica Rambeau's like her DNA is getting like messed with, you know, her getting her powers. I was speculating that like this is gonna be like the
Start of
the introduction to the mutants
mutants.
possibly, if they don't do it with the Eternals. Like, because I think Eternals is still gonna be the
Yeah.
jumping
But
point
Here,
off
let me
with
ask you
them.
this question though: Is with the Eternals, is this supposed to be the timeline
See.
with the Eternals? Is this supposed to be after the snap, or is this going to be like a prequel?
The
I
Eternals
don't think
or WandaVision?
Eternals
The
is
Eternals.
confirmed with the
I don't
timeline yet
know
because
if
they're
they
like
show-
ancient
Most likely.
beings, so
That's
it
what
could
I'm
either
saying.
be an origin or it could be like
Because
what, like maybe Thanos' snap is what brought them out of hiding.
okay, because
Yeah.
and the only reason I'm asking that because asking
Set after
that.
Endgame.
Okay,
It is?
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I was
Okay. The
wrong.
only reason why I was asking that is because I know that the way the Celestials had to do with the Eternals and the mutants and being created, so I thought like maybe they would just touch upon that, and then like, oh, okay, that's where it came from. But now is kind of confusing with WandaVision. I feel like we gotta wait to see because I'm kind of leaning towards the theories that this could be the start of the mutants.
I was thinking that too, because Marvel, like especially the cinematic, they always keep doing this thing where it's like the powers were always there, but there's something that happens that awakens like these powers in them, like what they did with the the Inhumans and all that stuff like that. So I'm figuring like it may do the same thing, with her Hex, because we've seen that Monica Rambeau started we clearly see her getting her powers from the comic books. So I'm assuming like, so what is it? Is like if everyone is going in and out, are their molecular structures changing where they're going to develop something? Is this how we get the start of mutants? Like, or what about the people who are already in there for this long? Because she was only, Monica was only in there for like what? Like, and then look what's already happening to her. I think about the people who's been there from the get, like,
and the kids, like you were mentioning.
And that's another thing. All because Vision was asking, like, where the hell are all the kids? Like, why are our sons like the only kids in there? So I'm thinking
now
like,
there's kids.
They were there.
She was like, oh
Little
shit.
did we know they were there the whole time.
But I think that was also following the whole meta-ness of the whole meta aspect of the show, where where there wasn't
they're
kids.
out-editing us as viewers, so it's crazy because the guy on the phone could still be Dr. Doom as well, because like what Christian was saying earlier, they don't have their powers yet. They can have all the mutants or Fantastic Four people, but they don't have anything. What happened to them hasn't happened yet, and then you can still have the movie where you introduce the character first.
That's a
And
good.
Reed Richards and Dr. Doom are the same. They study the same thing, but Reed Richards stays in the lab. That's his thing.
Yeah.
And Dr. Doom is
That's a
most
good
likely
point.
to leave
And also too, we have to keep in mind. In my opinion, I think the three movies that's gonna connect what we're seeing in the shows on Disney Plus is obviously Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man 3, and Black Panther 2. Because there were still rumors that they wanted to introduce Doctor Doom and Black Panther 2 and also Namor and all that, and have the whole big war between Wakanda, Atlantis, and
I really
where's
hope they
Doom
don't
from again?
butcher Dr. Doom.
Lavarian.
That's if they mess up Dr. Doom again, I'm gonna be so
No, if they mess up Dr. Doom, he's gonna be mad.
Like, please,
Like,
we
all riot.
We all right because I was like, listen,
Like they
y'all
can't
got
screw this
three
up.
times.
They can't.
Then nah, it's Marvel. They can't. There's no possible way they could screw this up.
They could.
Then the narrator comes in and they
Don't you put that kind of negativity out there, Murdoch. Yeah, there's a lot of don't put that negativity out there, man.
But bouncing off of what you said, though, you know what I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel did if they, because they've done this before, they changed the origin for the Fantastic Four. What if what Wanda created is really how they get their powers? Like, because like they
I
don't.
hope it's. I kind of don't hope that this whole Hex thing is mutants, because I feel like mutants should still stay in the line of like the X gene and it's like evolution taking its thing, because that's kind of the point.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I think like I said, if I felt like with how they go, like some of those people have the X gene.
Yeah,
It's just
not
maybe
everybody.
something
Hex.
happened. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
find out in Eternals why it's been dormant for so long.
Right.
This reality, as you can see, is changing people's molecular structures. DNA is what awakens the X gene that was already in a lot of these people to begin with.
True.
That's what I'm speculating.
That makes sense.
But also too, Marvel's got a lot on their hands with the mutants, because they have to bring, and also Fantastic Four. You're bringing in these characters into an established universe already.
Yeah.
So now, how do you fit them in there? How do you fit them in there
Without it
right? That's
being
gonna
shoehorned.
and make it and is gonna make sense.
Well, I think
'Cause
that's
the way
why
they did
they're-
it before, like I liked it. Like, some people got their powers from the Infinity Stones, like Captain Marvel. Like it's just some like everyone just happens to get into some stupid weird accident and get power. Like, come on, how many people?
I'm still waiting for my
Somebody has to
accident.
just die at this point. Like, but so many times people can survive all these things and wake up with superpowers and not just die, not just straight up die. So I don't know.
Like, how many times when you were a kid or a teenager and you walked home from school and you're like, man, I just wish a whole thing of toxic waste just fell on me right now so
And
I
then
could get
you just
super
be a
high.
skeleton.
Just not like
You just be a
Daredevil. Just not like
skeleton. That's
Daredevil,
it.
yeah.
No, you wouldn't be a
Yeah.
skeleton. It's just a month later, you're like, so doc, do I get to fly, have superhuman strength? No, you have cancer. You have a tumor and you got about 2 weeks to live. So I suggest you get your affairs in order.
Did they do that in Family Guy? Like Peter or somebody rolls in toxic waste or something?
Oh, Mae West.
Yeah, Mae West.
Mae West did that. He rolled the toxic waste. He was just like, I'm like, yeah, cancer. Who does that? Who rolls in toxic waste? Who does that?
I think Doctor Doom is going to be. He could fit in like a glove because when you make a Liberia thing and then you make people accidentally fly over Liberia as different characters.
They should give him his powers the same way. He wasn't a superpowered being. He studied, magic.
I think it would also be smart as well to introduce Doctor Doom this early out. Is that
Build him
because
up.
not only to build him up in the sense of being a villain, build him up in a sense of being a character we give a shit about.
Yeah.
Not just being a villain, because like there's still parts of Doctor Doom's story that like you're like, damn, you went through that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He still fights for his people. in
Yeah,
Liberia.
so like if they start it from that aspect and then we see it go to Doctor Doom, it's gonna be all the
Then
more
you see him
fucking
playing
then it's
yeah.
gonna be crazy. It's like when it's a shittier example. It's like when we watched Skywalker become fucking Vader, so, but in a way better sense.
Yeah.
So I hope that they introduce Doctor Doom, man. That would be so fucking cool. It's like not a last minute reveal because that would suck if I find that out
I think
in
it's
the
the next
last
episode.
2 minutes of the episode. But
They left they left that area to drive to him. So and then the hex expanded. So we're probably gonna see him next episode because then we have to see him do something. We can't just have him show up at the last credit and then everything goes away.
Hey.
It's like, what's the point of talking about it?
Like, yo,
My name is Victor. Credits.
This is my homie Doctor. This is my homie Doctor Victor Von Doom. Credits.
I'll say though, Disney Plus has made me so excited for Fridays again.
Yeah.
Like I like with streaming shows because we were talking about this before, where it was like we don't give a fuck because we get to watch it all the time at once. Now I'm excited for every week when a new episode of WandaVision comes out or Mandalorian. It's the best fucking thing in the
I think
world.
like the last one or was 11 before. I was up so late. I was just at 3 a.m. hit and I was
shit,
like, oh,
I gotta watch it.
You might as well at this
yeah.
point.
It was like 2 something. I was like,
You're
bro.
either watching at 3 a.m. or
Yeah.
9 a.m. or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah,
before-
now
just
I'm
before
watching it when I get up. Like in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I'll get it towards the end of the day," and then last week I was just like, "All right, coffee, let's sit down, let's do this shit right now." I've been waiting.
Nice wake and bake coffee. Let's get this show on the road.
And real back to the villain thing. I still think that personally, I think that Agatha is still really much in the cards,
yeah.
and I feel like she might be the main one because like as much as like I love Mephisto, I feel like they're building up the Agnes character way more that it would be a better reveal than like it's actually the Demon Lord, like who we've never mentioned in
I think
this
she has
entire
something
show.
to do with it. What threw me off that I don't think she's in full control is from the last episode when it looked like she was trying to, like she knew that you can get out, was trying to get out, but
she
she
couldn't.
couldn't. You know what I mean? That's when.
Maybe she helped start
That's
what
what
happened,
That's what I think.
and then she got too powerful.
And because that reveal came to me like when on the 80s episode when she had flubbed the line and she was like, "Do you want me to start
Just start over, yeah.
So I was like, okay,
Oh.
then she knows
what's going on.
yeah.
And even like one of the my other favorite scenes from that episode was when Wanda was trying to speed up the show, when her and Vision was getting into it.
Oh,
You
the
see the
credits
credits,
was
and it threw me off for a second. For a second, it threw me off. I was like, wait, what is happening right now? Once the credits roll, they're still talking. And, you know what I mean? So she does have some control, but she's also said like, I don't
I don't know how it started.
I don't know how I started.
She's
Like,
playing.
I gotta point out something too.
She definitely
do you
killed
realize,
that dog, though.
Oh
She
yeah.
definitely killed that dog.
she killed that dog.
Yeah.
Do you realize how insanely horrifying that must be watching? Like from the perspective of just normal people, and they find this show that is actually happening in real life, and they're just watching it. Like I would quit my job if that was something
some
that
of
was
the lines
actually
they
going
say
down.
that I feel like is the lines like the audience is saying. Like Kat Dennings, like her character, I feel like she's the audience.
She's us.
Yeah.
She's the vantage
They're
point.
Kat
outplaying
Dennings
us.
is the Marvel
show is
fan for us
outplaying
right now.
She's us. Yeah.
It's like they what she say? She recast Pietro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I was dying when she said that. I was like, yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
That's been my favorite part of this whole season so far.
Because they did that because that episode was like that was the 80s one. You can see the reference to Family Ties, and believe
especially
it,
the opening.
especially
that
the
was
opening.
that was straight Family
But
Ties,
a lot of people don't understand when they saw the Pietro come in. It was like, oh, it's so and so from Quicksilver from the Fox universe. People automatically thought of Aunt Viv. From Fresh Prince. But I thought of, because you remember the whole thing with Lil Nicky, they did that before. They did it in Family Ties. I remember when I was a kid. It was like the first season he was a little. I forget the little brother's name. He was a baby, and then literally the next season he was 5. It was like, wait, what? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, he was like 5.
So that's why they kept. Because that reference I seen too. When
Yeah,
they kept
getting their age,
like
and
that,
then
yeah.
like when you saw like when they changed the brother, it was like, oh, that's like reference to like the first how they bring the same character back with a different actor. So I thought that was cool because in my opinion, I don't know what you guys think. There's something off with him, with Pietro. There's something with him.
The hair is a dead giveaway for the horns.
That is reaching, but I do agree there's something wrong.
He got blasted in the last episode.
Because y'all were talking about it on Subscribe Reviews, like when he said, you know, you can talk to me. I'm your
I'm not your husband or your neighbor. I'm your, and then he doesn't even say brother. I'm like,
Aha.
When he came out with the, like, your dead husband can't die twice, like shit.
And
Like,
then when they said Pietro cast it as himself, but I was like, are you're not convincing me, right?
But, like,
but I see what you're doing.
Let me ask you guys this then: do you actually think, like, that's actually X-Men universe Pietro?
No,
Like, you're not even convinced.
No.
I think that would be too easy.
Because even that one had a family. I think he even had a sister.
he had a little
he had a little
Yeah,
sister, and he had his mom.
you know. And
Magneto
'cause-
was his dad.
And another clue was.
the trick or treating thing.
Yeah, when
Oh,
she
when
was
he was
they were
shot
talking
up.
about the they were talking about the memories
The
they
memories
had.
he had.
He
That
had something.
freaks
She was
me
like,
out.
I don't
I
remember,
remember
that
that.
at all. You know
Oh,
what
he's
I
like,
mean?
well, where's
What
your
happened to your accent?
What happened to you?
What
What happened to
happened to
yours?
He was not answering like any
those
questions.
questions.
Yeah, you know what I
Dodging
mean?
those questions. Oh my
Yeah.
Like he
Like
should have
he
dodged
said,
them bullets.
Yeah, like he should have dodged those bullets.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's another dead giveaway. That is not the Quicksilver, because the Quicksilver in the MCU sucked because he got wet up. Okay, he got wet up like a Crenshaw
That was just
script
bad writing.
on Sunday
That was just bad writing.
at noon. Okay.
That's Josh Whedon.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
that's
he
just
loves
bad
to kill.
writing. I won't blame it on
Whedon's
Gotta
got
kill
a fetish.
somebody.
He's got a fetish for killing people off, bro.
But yeah, but Fox did the character first. They were like, oh fuck, we don't want to hype up or bring the name up if either one of us gets
Like
up.
he still seems to have that personality.
So I can see
you
that.
know,
Yeah,
I
he's got the
that he
same
did it.
personality.
Would you be
Yeah.
Would you be let
That's what
down
David
if
was
it was
saying.
the Fox Pietro? If it just
No,
actually turned out to be
I'll
the
be hyped.
case?
Nah,
Yeah,
I'd be hyped.
I'd be
Because
hyped
then
still.
it's gonna show us that some of those characters, in some way or shape or form, with the multiverses, through hexes, realities, that they're gonna bring some of those people.
Well, we
over.
all get Ryan
Quicksilver
Reynolds.
obviously was
Yeah.
one of people's most favorite things about you know, in those.
Because
Fox ones.
to be honest, the only one that didn't give a fuck about doing any more of those X-Men movies was Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like she
She
was
was
like
clocked out.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
Apocalypse.
If you
She-
watch X-Men Apocalypse, she wasn't even there.
Yeah, she
She
clocked
didn't-
out.
she didn't
But
care.
like everyone else seemed to be kind of on board with the idea of doing more. Like most of that cast seemed like, I'm good with this. Like this is cool.
a
And then
paycheck.
they just kept writing them worse and worse and fucking worse. So I was just kind of surprised with that. But
It raises a lot of interesting questions of just like, is Marvel just gonna cherry pick the fan favorites out of the Fox X-Men universe and then recast the rest?
So
Like,
that means
well, they're bringing-
Quicksilver, Deadpool.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I can see them doing Juggernaut over though.
They
at some
should.
point. You
'Cause
know, but I
they-
don't know if they'll keep him CGI kind of like he was in
Ryan
Deadpool.
Reynolds.
too.
I think they should.
You know.
He looked a lot. He looked like
But
the
you could actually
big
get that
CGI
size.
fight coming up.
big CGI fight coming up. But no, but the Juggernaut in Deadpool 2 is the Juggernaut that we deserve and that we got. And that's what we should get. Not that shit.
He was a surprise, right?
Yeah.
He was a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, there was leaks up to that, but we didn't know what he was gonna look like.
I didn't even know. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
no,
I didn't because
no.
I hate looking into leaks. Like I keep
Yeah.
away from them. I want that genuine surprise reaction of everything that I'm invested into. Like, and anytime they talk leaks, like
It's like you hope it ain't true.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Because
I
someone
just go,
did that to me with the new fucking Ghostbusters movie, and I'm praying it ain't true.
"Ah."